Okay, yeah, this seems to work. Yeah. Thanks for the super lovely introduction. And yeah, my name is Florian Kaiser, as was said, working at Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. And today I'm going to introduce to you a bit the quantum internet and also the Quantum Internet Alliance in which I'm working. So quickly, following up on Thorsten's presentation, quantum technologies in a nutshell, we also encode information into bits, zeros, and ones. Yeah? In classical words, we have a 0 or a 1. And in the quantum world, we can do something much cooler. We can also encode information into zeros and ones, the so-called superposition states. And these superposition states are very special and interesting because a superposition state, on the one hand, cannot be copied. Yeah? Here you already get a feeling for what makes a security. And on the other hand, what we can also do is we can take multiple of these superposition states and put them into an even more interesting state, that is an entangled state. And this special connection, the entanglement, essentially, if you want to understand it, it's somehow a maximal coordination between measurement outcomes. So there's a laser pointer, I guess. Yes. So if we look at two partners here that share two entangled particles, what happens is if they make measurements, they will find that their measurement outcomes are correlated. So either both measurement outcomes, for example, point to the left, or both of them point to the right. So this is very well coordinated. Now comes a very special feature of entanglement, and this is the monogamy of entanglement. Entanglement can only be shared between two partners. As soon as there's a third partner, let's say a spy, who tries to extract some knowledge from this entangled state, it will destroy the entangled state. So what we see is errors in our measurement outcomes, and these errors then pinpoint us towards, a problem in our security of the communication. So by using entanglement, the users can verify at any time whether their communication was actually secure or not. And this is really great. It has already been commercialized. There are several companies that offer this. In Luxembourg, we're implementing this into the networks here, also Fraunhofer. So this is already a commercialized technology, absolutely fantastic. However, it has some limitations. Yeah, these commercial systems that exist today, they essentially can only give you secure communication over about 100 kilometers or so, because if you want to go beyond 100 kilometers, what you need to do is you need to implement here a quantum network operator, somebody that you trust. Yeah, and then the communication works as follows. The first partner here makes a secure communication with the network operator, and then the network operator forwards your data to the next partner. And of course, this creates quite a bit of discomfort, right? I don't want to trust my network operator that they don't look at my secret data. And it could be even worse. The network operator could be hacked and some foreign entity looks at the data. And this is actually where the quantum internet comes into the game. So in the quantum internet, what we do is we replace the network operator by a so-called quantum repeater. Yeah, this is a quantum memory or quantum processor, depending on how you see it. And this memory allows you essentially at any time to verify whether your data has been handled securely or not. And this is now very interesting, yeah? Because now with this quantum repeater, this cannot be hacked. No trust is required in this network because any user at any time can verify that the data was communicated or transmitted securely over arbitrary distances. So this is the promise of the quantum internet based on quantum repeaters. And beyond longer communication distances, these quantum repeaters bring also additional use cases with them. Yeah? So I summarize here a few of them. From the security and privacy aspect, as I said, we can have secure communication over longer distances based on quantum repeaters. We can authenticate users in the internet securely, enhance privacy, make position verification in a secure fashion. And one thing that is really very important in the quantum internet is that you will be able then to use a quantum computer in a cloud in a secure fashion. It's so secure that you can send a calculation to a quantum computer and the quantum computer itself cannot even know what you calculated. You're the only one that can decipher your data. And this is really what you want from such powerful quantum computers. Other use cases are novel features. You can make enhanced quantum imaging, for example, synchronized telescopes to make a Earth-spanning telescope based on entanglement. And you can also verify that things are done correctly with your data. For example, that your private data has been really deleted from social media, or your patient data after a medical study has really been deleted. Today you always have to trust, right? You never know. And of course there's also quantum money. Then quantum internet can also accelerate the networks. This was also highlighted a bit by Thorsten before, where we can now encode information into multiple of these photonic states at once. So we can use multiple observables at the same time to encode more information and thus transmit our data faster. We can also synchronize atomic clocks and balance a bit the load in the internet. And finally, where quantum internet in the future will become very important is to scale up quantum computing. You need these quantum links between different quantum computers in order to enhance the power by combining many quantum computers together. If you do this with a classical link, you don't gain any advantage compared to just having 3 independent quantum computers. So these are the promises of the quantum internet, and in Europe the quantum internet is mainly pushed forward by the Quantum Internet Alliance. And just giving you in a nutshell what is the Quantum Internet Alliance. So in 2017 several partners or leading partners in Europe came together and said, okay, we need to establish a consortium to push the quantum internet forward together. At that time this was mainly driven by QTech in Delft, the ICFO in Barcelona, University of Innsbruck and some groups in Paris. And our reasoning was really we wanted to strengthen European efforts towards the quantum internet. In 2018 we got very generous funding from the European Commission to kickstart the first phase of the Quantum Internet Alliance. And this project was then extended up to at least 2029 within the framework partnership agreement that we have signed in 2022. Now, G.I.E has many leading partners. You can see them here across everything. So we have universities, institutions, RTOs, industry companies, startups and others. And you can also see our contribution here, LIST in Luxembourg. We are also partner of this since the beginning. Now, what is always very important for us in G.I.E, and I think this is also the strength of our Quantum Internet Alliance, is that we focus on diversity. We are not closing ourselves against some technology platform because we always want access to the best platform for quantum repeaters. And so only by focusing on diversity, we can always make sure that every time we have the latest and best technology available to push the technology further. Now, G.I.E is quite successful, and for example, one thing that happened in 2021 is that we have been voted to be in the top 10 most influential projects by industry. We have also been voted to be the most influential quantum technology project at that time, even above all quantum computing projects. And without bragging too much, I would really say we deserve that, because within G.I.E we have really achieved quite a few amazing highlights. So we have demonstrated the world's first metropolitan quantum internet in the Netherlands based on color centers. We have demonstrated the world's first network that linked quantum processors. This was done in Innsbruck. We have demonstrated the world's first quantum operating system for quantum networks. This was done mainly in Delft. And we have now also integrated our first quantum repeater node into a 19-inch rack. This is an absolute hero effort. If you know these experiments, usually they take an entire room of 40, 50 square meters. Now you can get it in a rack. I mean, absolute hero effort. And this really shows you that we are pushing towards a full stack integration of such quantum network nodes, which will make also things quite scalable. To see how G.I.E integrates within the global landscape, so G.I.E is mainly focusing on fibers, so terrestrial quantum communication based on repeaters. So this is G.I.E. There are also several member state projects that help us with this, and we have created quite a few startups within G.I.E. Of course, in Europe, from the space side, there's mainly ESA as a complementary partner for this. And the success in Europe has also inspired other parts in the world to look into the quantum internet. And so in the US, we see now activities ramping up from several institutions and universities in fiber-based quantum networks or quantum repeater networks. They are supported by some bigger companies. And of course, NASA is taking the space equivalent. There's also China, of course, very strong in all kinds of quantum technologies. Mainly from the university side, they're looking a bit into quantum repeaters. And traditionally, China has also been quite strong in satellite-based communication. Now, for me, this is now a personal note, I would really be happy if we can maintain our European leadership in the field. And I think at that point it is also very important that Europe maintains a focus on our strong points. Yeah? And one of our strong points is certainly quantum communication technology, maybe much farther than all other quantum technology branches that we have. And again, it's a personal note, but I hear there are some tendencies nowadays to put all quantum programs into one big pot. And my fear is just that this will really start to dilute our efforts and we will lose our leadership in quantum communication. So I hope that we can maintain a strong focus in the future. Finally, on my last, okay, I'm running really much faster than time, but good. I would like to show you on the last slide a bit our efforts in Luxembourg, how we align with the quantum internet. And our vision, especially in my team, but also at LIST, is to make a quantum internet based on entanglement for everyone. So nowadays, all these quantum technologies are really, really expensive. It's very hard to get your hands on that. And so in order to reduce the cost, to make more people participate in the quantum internet and benefit from it, of course, you have to scale things up. Yeah? And history has shown us how to do that. We need to integrate everything on a semiconductor technology. Like this, we get many systems on one chip at a cheap price. So exactly here, the semiconductor technology. And this is exactly what my group at LIST is focusing on. We are exactly taking standard industry semiconductors, integrate quantum systems on these ones, and try to reduce the cost as much as possible. Our efforts at LIST are very well aligned in Luxembourg and in Europe. So we are developing this semiconductor quantum hardware, and this is very much aligned with the University of Luxembourg, which is quite strong in developing quantum software, alongside with our Quantum Internet Alliance project. And our dream is that we combine our efforts with our hardware and software, connect our chips and software to the excellent Luxembourgish fiber internet infrastructure. This way, starting a quantum internet from Luxembourg, and then, of course, extending it to the nations around us. And with this visionary statement, I would like to thank you for your attention.